Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Danville, West Virginia. Chris Kidd here with you, with Robbie Mounts, our engineer, as we are live on video productions for Danville Hawks Youth Football as they begin their 2025 season here at Skyhawk Stadium. As this is the B team division for the JV, as we'll have 3 games for you on hand here this evening. And again, we'll conclude tonight with the varsity action here on video productions as they give the signal to wind the game clock and the play clock. Again, we have the new scoreboard here that was getting close to getting installed around this time last year. Now we get our first looks at it as well for this season as Scott opens up under center. First down here against Mingo as he'll hand it off the left side. Nice little gap across midfield down to about the 47-yard line. On the play squirts Levi Haley. It's Haley, an 8-year-old. One of the keys on these Danville Hawks teams last year. As quarterback Jax Price, 9-year-old, runs in. Again, this is primarily the 8 and 9-year-old division. Danville comes to the line of scrimmage here on second down and 6 from the Mingo 47-yard line is Price. 3 backs in the backfield. He'll take a snap, gives it off right side. Looking for some running room on the edge this time is Robinette, and Gage Robinette will have the first down and more as he's shoved out of bounds by a couple of Miners right about the 40-yard line. So a good gain that time on the edge by Robinette. That'll give the Hawks a first down with 6:25 remaining here in the first quarter. Price will come back to the huddle. Down to the line of scrimmage. Next we'll have the C team for both sides. That'll be the youngest division on both ends. As Price climbs under center on first down, pitches it back, tough play, and is trying to spin away from traffic without much doing is Kennedy. He tried to find somewhere to go, but was locked up by Ezra Smith and company. So he'll be dropped for a loss of 2, close to 3 on the play. Seeing high school football starting to get underway here soon next Friday night. We'll have our first dose of that as scrimmages were underway last night for most high school teams. As Midget League's already gotten going, or Youth League. College football starting today, pro football soon, so we know that we're definitely in the fall area here in 2025 as Price gives it off up the middle. Nice little gap this time for Haley as it closes up, and now a flag comes flying in. Haley was following his blockers, but one reached out and grabbed too much jersey as that'll be a hold against the Hawks. That'll move them back 10 yards, and now that makes this series of down a lot more traverse for Danville. This will push them all the way back to the 48-yard line, make it second down and 18. They signal for the scoreboard to start the clock, but it hasn't begun yet. So now it looks like they're finally able to get it going. It's coming near side with it, able to turn the corner down to the 45, down to about the 41. Moves Kennedy on the play. It's a nice little end around, gets some of that penalty yardage back for the Hawks. And that'll set up third down and more manageable now, about 3rd and 11. We'll see if this will be the first time that Danville has Price drop back to try and throw the football here. Come to the line of scrimmage on 3rd down 11. Mingo Central stacks the line of scrimmage, anticipating a run here, trying to put pressure on Price. They will hand it off up the middle, but nothing there. And that'll bring up 4th down and about 10. So they'll give him a little bit of progress to the 40-yard line. But now we'll see what Danville elects to do. Again, you're kind of in that part of the field where it's difficult to try and figure out what to do. Obviously, even in high school, this is not field goal range. But yeah, this is right in that area where you do like to try and think about going for it. It looks as Danville will here. Price will line up under center on 4th and 10. He'll give it off right side, trying to get free, but Mingo swallows it up and holds it to about a 2-yard gain as Kennedy couldn't quite get free, and Mingo Central will take over on downs with 3:33 to go here in the first quarter. So now the Miners will get their first crack at it as quarterback Zagan Cruz, 8-year-old, takes the field. Now enters the huddle for the first time. Danville's defense, which was very stout last year, especially in this B team division, stands in to try and make a hold here as they take the field for the first time. Ezra Smith in the shotgun at quarterback. Looks around, takes the snap, looks to give it on the inside, but that's going to get eaten alive right at the line of scrimmage and in the backfield as Blake Turner able to come in and make the stop. So we do have a flag right about where Turner was able to make the tackle, and did he get him right around the face mask area? Either way, this is going against Danville as they walk off the penalty yardage. One of the officials trying to explain it to one of the other officials as the Danville coaches try and overhear what's being said, but that's a big penalty that's going to put Mingo Central into Danville territory at the 49-yard line. Smith will get into the shotgun once again as he looks at the sidelines. Now takes the snap, gives it on the inside again, and once again Danville there to blow it up. Is in the backfield, Leland Adkins able to get back there first, the 9-year-old, and we get another flag down on the play right at midfield. And it's going to be holding against Mingo Central. I'd say you'll see Danville decline this penalty. Loss on the play, but let's see if they decide to take it or not. It looks like they will take the penalty. So this will actually back Mingo up all the way to the 40-yard line. So they're going to give it a spot foul. So it'll be a loss of 11 total on that play. First down and 21 for Mingo Central. Smith calls for the snap, gets it. Quick little wide receiver screen, comes near side and completes it. Getting a nice little burst up the sideline, and down the sideline he goes as Silas Clark down to the 10, the 5, and he's into the end zone. A touchdown from 60 yards out as Smith able to connect with Clark. And Clark able to get out of that first tackle with a great stiff arm and was able to turn it up the sideline and go all the way to the house for the first score of this game. So there's a burst of life for the Miners right out of the gate. Their first offensive possession here tonight. And now they'll elect to go for two as Smith brings everybody to the line of scrimmage. Smith will hand it off, going left side, but nothing there. Is Danville able to pursue and cut up field and make the stop as S. Brandt and others able to prevent the two-point conversion from being converted, but Danville trails Mingo 6-0 as we'll step aside for a break and be back after this as you're watching Danville Hawk Youth football action here on Video Productions. Welcome back, everybody. Chris Kidd with you with Robbie Mounts alongside me, our engineer here tonight. As Mingo able to score on the 60-yard bubble screen from Ezra Smith to Silas Clark. And now they'll kick it away to Danville with 2:12 remaining here in the first quarter. As Clark, who scored the touchdown, will squib it right up the middle. Pops over one man loose on the floor and able to be fielded by Danville. Boy, they got hairy in a hurry as Jax Price, the quarterback, was the man able to fall on it right near midfield. That just took a one hop right over top one front man, maybe Blake Turner, who hopped over his head. And Price just barely able to be there because there were quite a few Carolina blue jerseys swarming around that football for Mingo. Now Danville, after turning it over on downs on their first possession, come out 1st and 10, trying to see if they can find the equalizer after Mingo scored just a moment ago. Price surveys around, now takes a snap, gives it off right up the middle, and that just like running into a brick wall. As the Miners had that covered up. hold that to about a 2-footstep gain on the play. As Robinette just had nowhere to go, and it'll be second down at about 9 3/4. Clock continues to tick away here in the first quarter as we're down to 90 seconds to go. Danville will come to the line of scrimmage. Tight formations on both sides here as it's just been ground and pound football for the Hawks. They'll give it off right side. Nice burst this time. Kennedy inside the 40, 35 to the 30, and he's dragged down from behind. So Danville able to open up a gap that time, and Kennedy able to take advantage of it for a 20-yard gain. That was much needed for the Hawks, as now they're on the move with under a minute to go here in the first quarter. So we have an equipment malfunction for one Mingo player just trying to get his shoes tied. Now Danville may have a chance to get one more play off here before the end of the first quarter. The Hawks come to the line of scrimmage on 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line of Mingo. Price gives it off left side. Nice stutter step. Trying to get around as Halley gets to the outside, now cuts up inside as flags come flying in from everywhere. As Halley has the first down to the 16, but will it stand? Will be the question. And this is right in the area where you might see a block in the back or a hold. And it will be a block in the back against Danville. So it's just been some self-inflicted wounds here in this first quarter for the Hawks as far as penalties go, both on the offensive and defensive side. And this will take away the 14-yard run for Halley and bring it all the way back and then some. As they'll mark it at the 34-yard line, it'll be 1st and 14. That is where we will start when we begin quarter number 2 right after this, as you are watching Danville Hawk Youth Football with us right here on Video Productions. Start of quarter number 2 here from Skyhawk Stadium. Chris Kidd with you. Robbie Mounts, our engineer, as Danville trails Mingo 6-0. But on the move here, second down or first down and 14. Price, quarterback keeper, trying to get outside, but he's not, and he's going to get just pushed to the ground on the far side by Trayvon Moore, the 9-year-old, able to catch up and dropped Price for about a 6-yard loss. Danville had gotten all the way down to the 16-yard line, but a holding penalty erased everything. And now they've moved backwards. So it'll be 2nd and 20, and again, sun out now. Turning into a beautiful evening. It was raining and storming a little bit about an hour and a half or so ago down in this area. But now hoping for 3 good football games here. 3 good Weatherfield games as Price. Under center. 3 backs in the backfield. He'll hand it off as Price falls down. Able to get it to Kennedy just in time, and here comes Kennedy inside the 30. Pushes off a man down close to the 25-yard line as he goes out after a 15-yard gain. Good job by Price, able to keep his feet as he was going back for that long handoff. And then Kennedy able to get to that edge from all the way from the far side where the handoff was. So he got some good blocking along that edge. Now it'll be 3rd down and 5 for Danville. They trail 6-0, trying to find the tying score here on this drive. It's Price talking with his backs right now. He's giving Robinette some instruction. It's on 3rd and 5, 3 backs in the backfield. He'll give it to Robinette this time. Looking for his blocks, trying to get to the corner. Gets tripped up out there. Great open field tackle on the far side that time, or else that could have been possibly even a score for Danville. It looked like a tackler maybe got his finger jammed a little bit. I believe it was Kingsley Pruitt who was able to make that stop. But that was a first down saving definitely tackle, if not a touchdown scoring tackle save. And it'll bring up 4th down. It looks like about 3 here for Danville. They need just inside the 21-yard line for a first down. They were unable to convert on 4th down their first time. Now knocking on the door of the red zone this trip. It's a 3-back backfield. Mingo crowds the line of scrimmage. They give it off, and Mingo's able to make the stop. There's nowhere to go for Kennedy on 4th and 3, and Mingo will take over on downs with 4:48 to go here in the half. Now Mingo will get their second possession of the half, again scoring on their only possession moments ago. And on that 60-yard bubble screen to Clark on the outside. That was after a couple of defensive penalties against Danville. Danville had trouble trying to run the ball. Or Mingo had trouble trying to run the ball against Danville's front on the first drive until Mingo went to the outside with that little pass. Now Smith, he will lob it out far side, up for grabs and incomplete. Boy, that was dangerous as that got out to the far side. You could kind of see Mingo's coaching staff maybe thinking the same thing right there. Again, we had trouble trying to find any real estate to run through. Let's just try and get it to the edge and see if one of our athletes can make a play. That time, though, Danville was all over it. So it'll bring up 2nd down and 10 as Smith out of the shotgun, low snap, able to go down and get it, but he's under pressure and he's going to get dropped. Back inside the 20-yard line. That's coming through and making the sack that time. Number 19, Leland Adkins. And it'll be 3rd down and long now for the Miners. We approach the midway point of this first half is a timeout for Mingo Central. So we'll step aside and be back after this as you're watching Danville Hawk Youth Football here on Video Productions. Back here in Danville, West Virginia, home of the Hawks. Chris Kidd with you. Robbie Mounts, our engineer. As it'll be third down and about 16 here for the Miners. After Adkins had the sack a moment ago for Danville. Now we got bodies moving everywhere along the line of scrimmage. So we're going to see if this is false start or encroachment. Again, when you have people moving on both sides, but looks like it's going to go against Mingo, and it will. So this will back them up 5 more yards. And those will be the things that'll drive you up the wall as a coach at any level, whether it's youth or high school or even higher. But right after a timeout, you commit a penalty. And now it'll be 3rd and 21 instead. Danville looking like they're going to show pressure here, but now we get another flag to come down. And this is going to back Mingo up again, as this will be another false start penalty. So Mingo takes a timeout and promptly has 2 false start penalties. And now they've basically taken themselves out of any sort of range here on this drive for conversion. 3rd down and 26 here. Smith takes the snap, gives it off to the far side, trying to get out there. May have been Price able to bring man down, as Moore looked to be the ball carrier that time for the Miners. He just had nowhere to go, and that was a almost full-on disastrous drive for Mingo. Now they'll have to give it back to Danville here with under 4 minutes to go in the first half. There's no return that can be made, as these are dead ball basically punts, and basically wherever the ball is fielded at is where it'll be taken, and it'll be great field position for Danville right about the 22-yard line of Mingo Central. Is Kennedy able to make that fair catch? And Mingo gets the ball to start the second half, so this drive becomes even more important now for Danville, trying to tie or take the lead before halftime. Price will come out here. 3rd drive of the game for Danville. They've been able to move the ball twice, but unable to finish off a drive just yet. Could this now be the time after that great defensive stand? Price will hand it off deep. Kennedy trying to get outside, able to turn it upfield, and makes a little something out of nothing right there. As Mingo did a good job of getting upfield, forcing Kennedy to get out wider and higher. As he's able to pick up about a yard maybe on that play. Spotted at the 22, so very minimal gain there for Kennedy, as it'll be second down at 9. Price under center with 3 backs. Mingo crowding the line of scrimmage once again here, anticipating the run. They'll give it off to Robinette. Robinette trying to get outside. Gets away from one tackler inside the 20. Down to the 10. At the 5. And Robinette is in. A touchdown for Danville. And they have evened things up at 6 apiece with 3:08 remaining here in the first half. You have a minor player down back at about the 27-yard line. This is the second Mingo player we've seen down today here in this first half, but there you can see Robinette, once he got around the corner, able to make the charge into the end zone. And that may have been the would-be attempted tackler there, C.J. Jackson. He's getting off the field now and thankfully appears to be okay. But Danville's noticing once they can get to those edges, they're having a lot more success against the Miners here so far. And now they'll go for 2 to try and take the lead here with 3:08 to go in the first half. Price will go under center. Only deep back this time will be Halley. Price will give it off to him, but Mingo able to capitalize and come up with the stop. There's nowhere to go for Halley on the play, and the 2-point conversion no good, but Robinette's score ties us up at 6. We'll be back after this as you're watching Danville Hawk Youth Football right here on Video Productions. Touchdown run by Robinette ties the score at 6 apiece. As Danville set to kick off here with 3:08 left in the second quarter. This will be a squibber right back up the middle, fallen on by Mingo at about the 47-yard line. So the Miners trying to see if they can get a 2-for-1 here. Again, they get the ball to start the second half as well. So can they find a way to get a score and the ball to start the second half, as Danville able to get the momentum back here after that big defensive stop, and then getting superb field position at the 23-yard line, and then the 22-yard touchdown run by Robinette on the second play of that drive to tie it up after the 60-yard touchdown from Mingo on the wide receiver screen from Smith to Clark. Now Mingo brings it to the line of scrimmage here on 1st and 10. Again, they've struggled to find a way to run the ball so far here today. But now Mingo's going to burn their second time out as they couldn't get lined up right. And now the coaching staff will come out to talk with their offense. So we'll step aside for a break. Be back right after this as you're watching Danville Hawk Youth Football right here on Video Productions. Now Mingo, after spending their second time out of the half, line up here on 1st and 10. And they had a couple of false starts after a timeout last drive. Smith will get the snap off this time, hands it off, running into the back of one of his own blockers and then getting tripped up in the backfield is Clark. As we have a flag down, as Turner may have been the one that got piece of his cleats that time as he went diving for them. Let's see what the flag is here. They look to be talking to the Mingo sideline, and it will be against the Miners. Looked like a blow to the head, the official signaled. So that will be a personal foul, and that'll back Mingo up big time here. They'll come all the way back to the 30-yard line. The original line of scrimmage at the 47, so it's going to be 2nd down and 27 now for Mingo. Smith out of the shotgun, and once again we get flags down. Again, it's been a flag-happy first half. Once again, you're going to have a false start here on the Miners. So this will push them back 5 more yards. So Mingo now has basically all of Boone County that we're looking at here for a potential first down, and there you see the personal foul. As up the middle off the right side, or left side that time, out to the 30-yard line as Mingo gets some of the yardage back. And now we get another stoppage here, and Danville's going to burn their first time out with 2:48 to go in the half. So we'll be right back after this as you're watching Danville Hawk Youth Football here on Video Productions. It'll be second down. And still 27 here for Mingo after the timeout by Danville. As Danville looking to maybe try and get the stop and get the football back here near the end of the half, as low snap on the ground, and Smith maybe got back on top of that. And now Danville will burn their second timeout as it'll move to third down for Mingo. So we'll be back right after this as you're watching Danville Hawk Youth Football on Video Productions. Third down now as Mingo will hand it off in the backfield, and once again Danville there to shut it down, and that'll bring up fourth down. And Danville's going to burn their final timeout. Again, Mingo has already burned 2 timeouts. Danville uses all 3 of theirs right here in this sequence of plays in order to get the football back. But now if you're both Danville and Mingo, you have no timeouts left. Well, Mingo has 1 timeout left. And with 2:28, going to have to try and move the ball as quickly as they can down the field, as Mingo likely attempt to try and punt it away here. And again, we've still got 2 more games coming your way here tonight, as we've got the C team affair coming up next. That is the youngest group. Again, this is about the 8 and 9-year-old division. And the B team, and then the A team, the older division. We'll finish things off later tonight. So we've got more and more youth football coming your way here tonight on Video Production, so stay with us. Now Mingo's set to punt it away here after the final timeout by Danville. Again, these are dead ball plays. There won't be a return. Danville can make the catch, though, to prevent the ball from getting further downfield. Nice angled kick that time as Halley runs over and gets on top of it at about the 44-yard line. So Danville will take over here. Trying to see if they can seize the lead for the first time. Away from Mingo. Mingo led it 6-0 before Danville was able to even it up at 6. But the defenses have rose up and been able to come up with some key stops. It's Price and the crew come back out here. They have not thrown the ball yet here tonight. Everything's been on the ground for Danville. So on first down, Mingo able to get into the backfield, knock the handoff away. And now let's see who's got the ball. Mingo has it. Wow, what a defensive play off the edge that time in order to knock that football away and get it back. You see here, again, nobody with the block off the edge that time. It may have been Moore who was able to get back there and make that play. It looks like maybe Clark came up with the football after the fact. But now that changes everything here. After Danville used all of their timeouts to get the football back in just one play, Mingo able to force the turnover. Smith will go under center on first down. He'll hand it off. Trying to come near side with it is Clark. He's grabbed in the backfield and slung to the ground for a loss on the play. It's Grayson Hensley able to make the stop that time. And Mingo just continues to have its difficulty trying to run the football here today, as Danville has been in the backfield almost every time. Now we'll see what Mingo's strategy is going to be here. Again, Danville can't stop the clock anymore. Mingo has one timeout left, but they also get the ball to start the third quarter. So I don't think you'll see them be overly aggressive here unless they're able to spring something. But they also don't want to give Danville enough time to try and go down and do some damage and take the lead before halftime. So they try to go with a screen, but that's blown up right away, as getting into the backfield and making the hit is Adkins. That is a big sack on the play as Mingo. I'm surprised by this, that Mingo would burn their third time out. Again, you just took 2 losses in a row on these plays, a sack and getting dropped with your running back deep in the backfield. So this is just almost like a free timeout for Danville at this point, because Mingo's had difficulty trying to find anything that works, minus that bubble screen that went for a touchdown. But with 1:15 showing on the clock, now both sides out of timeouts here in the first half. But if Mingo's unable to convert here, and even more so if it's a dead ball off an incompletion, then that definitely gives Danville plenty of time to try and come up with something here for a final drive. So I was a little surprised by the timeout. It felt like maybe just a go to halftime play right after that one. But now the door's been open to a few different options here if Mingo can't convert and can't keep the clock moving on this play. So on third down, they'll give it off. Clark, nice cut back inside, across midfield. He's got the first down and more. He could go once again. Clark inside the 20 to the 10, and Clark with his second touchdown of the half. And now we hear there's a flag on the play, looking to see where it may be at. And it's laying all the way down back at the 37-yard line, and it's going to come back. So a hold against Mingo will bring that touchdown back. And that's the second big play of the game that we've seen wiped out by a penalty. We've seen a couple of others as well. But that could have been a huge change in momentum going into halftime. And in this contest. But now instead, we've got third down and very long now for Mingo, which has kind of been the situation they've been stuck in over the last couple of drives. Smith calling for the ball out of the shotgun, and once again going to be a flag on Mingo here, as this will be a false start. As Mingo has had full start woes here in this first half. And they found themselves in some really outrageous down and distance situations here in this first half. This will be snapped from their own 28-yard line. They need the 43-yard line of Danville for first down. Minute 2 still on the clock here. So let's see if Mingo just tries to keep us on the ground. A high snap over the head of Smith, but he's able to go back and get on top of it back at the 20-yard line and prevent further damage. As it'll be fourth down and 37 now for Mingo, as under 40 seconds to go here in the second quarter. So we'll see how much time Mingo can burn off the clock here. As we said, neither side can stop the clock. Snap it back, and this will just be a kick. Nicely knocked down by Halley in order to keep that from rolling further upfield and to keep the clock from winding further down, as it'll stop with 22 seconds left. And Danville will have an opportunity or two to see if they can take the lead. So as we said, Danville hasn't thrown the ball yet here in this first half. Coaching staff going over several different scenarios here. Danville comes to the line of scrimmage here. As we said, neither side can stop the clock. Price with three backs in the backfield, hands it off. Robinette trying to get outside. Now cuts back in. He's not going to get anywhere, as he's going to be brought down back at the 40-yard line. And that will bring us to the end of the first half, as Mingo and Danville battle to a 6-6 tie here at Scott High School. We'll be back after this for the second half, as you are watching Danville Hawk Youth Football right here on Video Productions. Welcome back, everybody. Chris Kidd and Robbie Mounts here with you from Danville, West Virginia, as we are all tied up at 6 apiece here in this B-team contest, as Danville will kick off to start the second half, as it'll be an illegal procedure penalty against Danville as they were offsides. So they'll go back and have to kick it again here. And Mingo jumped on the board first with a 60-yard touchdown pass from Smith to Clark, a little bubble screen that he took all the way to the house, and then Gage Robinette was able to score on a 22-yard touchdown run to even things up. Both sides unable to convert their extra point attempts as they both went for two, and now we stand at 6 apiece. Danville lining up to kick it from the same spot here. I don't know if they're going to move them back or not. And it looks like they will here. So, like I said, it's been a very Eeyore type game so far. Just very slow and methodical moving on both ends. So we've had a lot of flags on both sides here in this 8 and 9-year-old division. Kenton Vance will kick it away. A little squibber as it gets upfield. Fielded there by Moore, trying to do something with it as he comes back near side, but he's going to get brought down right about that spot as the officials finally blow the whistle. And so he was down about the 44-yard line. I think you just saw one of the officials telling kids the whistle means stop. And you can hear some of the parents letting some of their feelings be heard over here on the near side. But now to Mingo starting from their own 44-yard line. Again, they really struggled to try and run the ball in the first half. And then once Danville kind of caught on to that little bubble screen, they also are having trouble trying to throw the ball. So it's really just been one offensive play from Mingo that they've had any success on. Their defense has been strong. Both sides' defense have been strong, but it's really going to come down to which offense can maybe spring a play here. Mingo did spring a second play for a touchdown, but it got called back for a holding penalty late in the first half. Smith trying to hand it off, but it got knocked out of his hands as Danville looks to go diving on it, but they couldn't come up with it. And somehow Mingo got that ball back. Boy, talk about a break if you're the Miners. It may have been Cade Hammond who was able to retrieve that ball. But now it'll be a loss on the play for Mingo as a lose 4 yards. Back to the 40-yard line. Again, they've been playing behind the sticks most of the afternoon today. Smith trying to make sure everybody's set. Again, they've had quite a few false start penalties go against them as well. So on 2nd and 14, Smith gives it off, coming near side, and a good tackle for a loss of 1 on the play, as that was Halley who came up and laid the wood that time for the Hawks. That'll make it 3rd and about 15 now for Mingo. Again, this B-team defense for Danville looking just as strong as it did last season. As the Miners come to the line of scrimmage, Smith once again surveying around. Out of the I formation go the Miners this time. Smith gives it off to Clark, the man who had the touchdown, trying to get outside, but Halley able to chase him down and drop him for another loss on the play. And Levi Halley had a day on that series. He has 2 tackles for a loss, and now Mingo will have to give the ball back over to Danville. And you just kind of feel like on Danville's side that the dam could be ready to break here in this second half. You feel like if they can get the lead, then they're going to be in good shape right now in this game with the way their defense has started to play lights out. As Clark will wait, now puts a foot into it. Able to scoot that one by one man, and that'll be killed at about the 39-yard line with 5:06 to go here in the third quarter. So we're all even at 6 apiece. Again, we still got 2 more games coming your way. The C team, the younger boys, will be up next here on Video Productions, and then the A team, the oldest division, will close things out later on tonight. Again, approximately at 7 o'clock and 8:30 p.m. for those 2 starts. And it doesn't look like we're going to reach that 7 o'clock start as far as the C team goes at the moment. Again, the first half of this game running a little longer. As Price goes under center for Danville on first down, gives it off, coming near side as a flag comes down immediately as Kennedy will get to the outside to about the 46, close to the 47-yard line, but we're going to have a hold in the backfield, and that'll wipe out the gain, and now we've got another minor down on the play. This is the 3rd minor we've had down on the evening for Mingo, and as the coaching staff comes out to check on their player, we'll step aside for a break and be back after this as you're watching Danville Hawk Youth Football right here on Video Productions. Ready to go back to action here at Scott High School. It's Danville and Mingo C teams all even at 6 apiece with 4:59 to go here in the third quarter. So it'll be 1st and 20 here for the Hawks after the holding penalty a moment ago. They'll hand it off, coming near side as Halley gets slung around like a rag doll and falls forward out across the 32, about the 33-yard line. So that'll be a gain of about 4 and bring up 2nd down and 16 here for the Hawks. Price comes back into the huddle here. We hit the midway point of the third quarter. Danville get to put the ball in the air here this afternoon. They'll hand it off here. Mingo has it red. Is trying to get outside as Robinette, but he's going to get swallowed up as he gets there. Fights forward for a little bit extra there. Actually able to turn that into a bit of a gain that time. So good job by Robinette as he was swallowed up on the outside. Just lowered that shoulder and pushed forward. And was able to get that up to about the 37-yard line. So he's able to pick up close to 4, maybe even 5 on that carry. They're actually going to spot him about the 38, so that does make it now 3rd down and 11 for Danville. They don't convert here. We'll see what the yardage could be for a possible 4th down situation. Right now, you might just be playing field position on both sides. Both sides have almost been able to come up with turnovers here this afternoon as this snap will give off to Kennedy, trying to get to the left edge, and does. He's at the 45. He's got the 1st down as he's pushed out along the Mingo sideline. Great job there by Kennedy. Able to get to the corner and get that 1st down. And that could be a game-changing play right here as we get later in the 3rd quarter. And that is a 3rd and 11 conversion for Danville. Kennedy has had quite a few big runs here today. Let's see if he gets the ball again out of this, but Mingo able to blow it up in the backfield, and Robinette going backwards, and he's going to get dropped back on Danville's side of the 50 at the 45. That'll be a big loss on the play. About 8 yards. Now they're going to give him some forward progress back to the 47-yard line. So it'll be a loss of about 6 instead. So it'll be 2nd down and 16. With under 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Center Leland Adkins comes to the ball first. 3 backs in the backfield as Mingo still anticipating run here. Halley will take it himself this time, turns it upfield. Halley's got 1 man out. They're able to shake Clark at the 35, the 30, 25, 20, and a foot race. Cuts back over to the 10 and finally brought down by Moore inside the 10-yard line. What a run by Halley. And now Danville could see it come back, though, as we see a flag back at the 36, and it will come back. A block in the back wipes out a great run by Halley. And once again this afternoon, we see a big play taken away from one side to the other. Again, Mingo's had a touchdown called back. Scott's had a couple of, or Danville's had a couple of big plays called back. And some of these early season penalties have been killer so far. Even in some of the high school scrimmage games last night, you saw it. Mountain of penalties, and some of those across the state if you were out for a high school football game. So again, everybody early on in the season still trying to get their bearings and trying to get themselves ready for the season, but now it's going to be a 2nd down and 9 from the Mingo 46-yard line. As the flag occurred downfield, so a spot foul. Does give Danville some yardage off of that last play, but not the significance of what Halley had churned off. Now 2nd and 9, they'll give it off. Right side, nice little hole as Kennedy bursts through. inside the 40, and now another flag comes flying in with 40 seconds to go here in the third quarter, as it's just been a litany of laundry out here today in this contest. So we could have a face mask here, it appears, and it is. So this is going to be walked off against Mingo. And this will be a 15-yarder, so this will be a huge penalty all the way down to the Mingo 21-yard line. So Danville knocking on the door, trying to take their first lead of the day. As the clock starts to wind here with 38 seconds to go, as they signal for the clock to wind. As Price gives it off to Robinette. Robinette stumbled a little, but still kept his footing, able to get down inside the 15 to about the 14-yard line. And that is where we'll pick up to start quarter number 4 right after this, as we will be back here momentarily as you are watching Danville Hawk Youth football action right here on Video Productions. Start for the fourth quarter here from Danville, West Virginia. Danville trying to take the lead in this B-team contest as they're driving on Mingo. Gives it off to Halley. Halley, nice couple of shakes that time, able to work his way down inside the 10-yard line. And that'll bring up second down. Or actually, that'll be a first down, as it was second down and short. And it'll be first and goal to go. So Danville, after a little bit of a long trip back, finally able to traverse their way back to about the point where Halley was on that long run moments ago in the third quarter. It's a good job by Price, able to get that handoff off, as he was under some duress right up the gut that time from some Mingo defenders. It'll be first and goal from here, early stages of the fourth quarter. Price, a little bit of a confusion on the play as he and Robinette both went in different directions. Robinette able to come back and get it, but that'll be a short loss on the play. And that'll bring up second and goal. So Danville has kept the ball on the ground the entire game. Now trying to get their way into the lead here from 10 yards out here on second and goal. And it looks like we're going to have our first. Well, no, there will not be a timeout. Looks like maybe an equipment issue that time. As Hunter Esbrandt had to come to the sidelines as they'll sub in Eli Miller for him. It's one official trying to explain it to the Danville sideline right now. He kept pointing to his palm, or hitting his palm. So maybe it looks like on the sideline that Esbrandt maybe has a little bit of blood on his hand as they were trying to squirt it off. But it'll be Halley in at quarterback here. It'll be a quarterback keeper trying to get to the outside, cuts back up, still trying to slice his way through the defense, back to the 5, fighting upfield, and he'll have it down to about the 2-yard line. What a run by Halley, as he just weaved his way in and out of traffic across the field and was able to get it down to the 2-yard line as Moore was shaken up, and also another minor player down on the field as they're waving to the sideline to try and get the Mingo coaches out. And now you've got a third minor down on the field as the coaching staff comes out to check on them. So while they do that, we'll step aside for a quick break and be back after this as you're watching Danville Hawk Youth Football on Video Productions. Players able to come off the field successfully for Mingo, as Danville has it 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line here in the early stages of the 4th quarter, trying to take the lead. They give it off. Robinette pushes forward, fights into the end zone, and Robinette, his 2nd score of the day, gives Danville a 12-6 lead, their first lead of the day. That was just all muscle and heart right there from the Danville Hawks offensive line. Able to push forward, and Robinette just kept his legs churning that time. And here comes a very important 2-point play now, as both sides were unsuccessful in trying to convert after their scores the first time. Now can Danville convert and really put the pressure on Mingo with 6:19 remaining in the game. Price will get under center. Robinette, Halley, and Kennedy to his back. He'll give it off to Kennedy, able to break out of a tackle, fights forward, and he's into the end zone. Big 2-point conversion, and Danville leads it 14-6. We'll be back right after this as you are watching Danville Hawk Youth Football right here on Video Productions. Danville takes their first lead of the day, 14-6. After the touchdown run by Robinette and the 2-point conversion scored by Kennedy. Now Kenton Vance will kick it off here. We've seen a couple of opportunities for these to be recovered today. Danville was very good at this last year on the B team side as that kick, tough one, Clark. Good job by him. Boy, that was a tough kick to try and get under control, and he was finally able to do it there as Mingo will have the possession right at midfield with 6:16 to play here in the fourth. As they led it 6-0 in the first quarter after a touchdown strike, but Danville has controlled the line of scrimmage and controlled the game most of the way since then. Now they have the lead and looking to try and slam the door shut here, potentially with a defensive stop. Both sides still with all their timeouts here in this fourth quarter. Now Mingo didn't like where they were at trying to get lined up, and now they will burn one of those precious timeouts with 6:15 to play here in the fourth. We'll be back after this as you're watching Danville Hawk Youth Football here on Video Productions. Out of the timeout, Mingo with the ball here at midfield. 6:15 to play here in the fourth. They trail at 14-6. They give it off to Clark trying to get outside, and he's chased down and brought down for a loss on the play, a loss of 3 overall. As Leland Atkins and company there to help make the stop. Again, it's been very difficult for Mingo to find any running lanes here today. The one that they did have was the touchdown they got called back for holding. So give it off, coming near side. Moore trying to get out there, but all he sees is yellow jerseys, and he is decleated by Blake Turner. What a hit by the 9-year-old. And just unloaded on Moore, and Moore, wow, how tough is that kid? He just bounced up and got right back to the huddle, but a loss on the play. And that, you see it on our instant replay, just an unbelievable hit by Turner. So that'll wake you up in the morning if you haven't had a fresh cup of coffee. Now you're seeing a 3rd and 15 being faced. Now 3rd down. Clark will take the snap, trying to get outside, but he's going to be pursued, and he's going to be dropped back inside the 40-yard line as Leland Atkins got in there first, along with several other Hawks, to help make the stop. And now if you're Mingo, you face a 4th and 21 here As you hit the midway point of the fourth quarter, you've used one timeout, but they really have no choice but to kick it away and hope their defense can come up with a stop or a turnover. As good catch by Hallie at about the 43-yard line with 3:53 to go. And now Danville will try to go to work on the clock. They get only 2 timeouts for Mingo remaining after they had to burn one at the start of their offensive drive just a little bit ago. And Danville has started to open up some running lanes, running the ball here in the second half. So they had their struggles in the first half. Their offense and defensive front have definitely started to win as this game's worn on, as they give it off to Kennedy, and here he comes again across midfield, and he'll pick up 9 yards, so it's starting to be chunk yardage for the Hawks now. They continue to have the pressure mount on this Mingo defense to try and come up with a stop or a turnover immediately. Danville taking their time here as we approach 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. It's Price making sure everyone knows their assignments. Under center he goes, one deep back, gives it off to him as Hallie almost lost it, but able to get it back, and he has the first down, a little more into the 43-yard line and into the Mingo secondary for that first down. So we're at 2:45 now, so if you're Mingo, you start wondering when they start using their timeouts here in this scenario as the clock begins to wind. Under 2.5 now to play, and it's really got to be this series of downs if you're Mingo, if you want to have a stop and get the ball back and have an opportunity here. Got the first down right now. Pretty well puts anything else out of reach for the Miners. Price gives it off to Kennedy, gets outside, makes a cut and gets to the corner. Inside the 30, 25, 20. In a foot race to the 10 with Clark, and Kennedy is into the end zone. Touchdown, Danville. And that will put the icing on the cake here with 1:56 to go. And the Hawks lead it now 20-6. And again, Robinette had the first 2 scores today for Danville. Kennedy definitely has had a tremendous day. He and Hallie both probably earned a touchdown score here today, but Kennedy definitely helped carry this offense for a good portion of the first half and able to put the final nail in the coffin of Mingo with that touchdown run. As they'll go for 2 here to try and push this to a 16-point lead. They'll give it off to Hallie, and Hallie will get in for the 2-point conversion as Danville has been leaning on Mingo since late in the first half, and Mingo has finally tilted over as Danville leads at 22-6. We'll be back after this as you're watching Danville Hawk Youth Football here on Video Production. Danville leading at 22-6 here in our first of 3 games this evening from Scott High School. As they have recovered, it looks like potentially a squib kick, and they have. Again, it's been close a couple of times today on both sides, but Danville recovers the squib kick and now can start to roll out this clock here potentially with 1:55 to play, as they have scored 22 unanswered points ever since Mingo took the lead in the first quarter. It was 6-6 coming into the fourth quarter, and it's been all Danville here in the final 8 minutes. Again, you just kind of feel Mingo wearing down physically and mentally as they've seen this game slip away from them. Looks like an equipment issue for a Danville player, as Grayson Tabor will check in. As Braden Berry will go to the sideline to try and make sure everything's all right. Dropping back and looking to throw first time today, and that's complete, but it's going to be for no yardage as he's able to complete it to Zayden Green for no yards. So that was the first time today that Danville's dropped back to throw the football. And it'll bring up second down as Mingo not looking to use either of their final 2 timeouts at the moment. And the C team's waiting down in the far end zone. They'll take the field next here on Video Productions. Again, that'll be the younger divisions, the 6- and 7-year-olds. It's down to the final minute here of the contest. Danville going to get a win on their home field here this evening. They try and look and sweep things here today as Robinette, nice run off the left side as he gets the first down to the 39-yard line. And that should all but ice things away here in this contest for the Hawks. This B team that was so good and so dominant last year, off to a good start this year. They come to the line of scrimmage. We'll see if they run one more play here. Again, they've been close to breaking several of these and have broke several of these here today. Price gets the snap, gives it off to Halley. Halley spun around, and he's brought down at about the line of scrimmage. Maybe a little bit of a loss on the play. And that will do it here today for this B team contest between Danville and Mingo. And Danville wins it 22-6. So we'll step aside for a little bit of a break and be back here in about 10 to 15 minutes or so for the C team game between Danville and Mingo. So again, for Robbie Mounts, I'm Chris Kidsing. See you here shortly as you are watching Danville Hawk Youth Football right here on Video Productions.